and Arbi Falafel with Housemade Pickles and a pomegranate, plum and green apple yogurt. Let's get cracking. Now for the pita dough. I've got 125 grams of flour in here, to which I'll be adding yeast, about 2 grams, 2 to 2.5 grams of yeast, with a big pinch of sugar, a little water to mix just to dissolve it. Sugar is always added to the yeast because ये yeast का खाना रहता है, okay? It gives nutrition to the yeast. So I'm going to be adding about 5 ml of olive oil in this as well. Okay, now let's just remove these contents. Okay, now this is a pretty stiff dough, so what we need to do is just add a little bit of water and just work on it a little bit. So now we have a nice semi-soft dough which is almost going to become double in size. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a clean duster over it. Just sprinkle it with a little bit of water so it stays nice and damp, okay, so the dough doesn't dry out on the top. And I'm just going to keep it somewhere nice and warm up here and deal with that later. Next, let's hit our mix for our little baby Beet and Arbi Falafels. Now for this, I've got a beetroot which I've baked in the oven. So what I've done here is I've put a little bit of salt, पेपर, हल्का सा ऑलिव ऑयल और फिर मैंने इसे ओवन में अबाउट 30 to 35 मिनट्स के लिए कुक कर दिया है. Okay, so beetroot about 30 grams, which would be about just about this much. So 30 grams of beetroot in here, another 30 grams of Arbi in this as well. So Arbi is here. 1 green chili, sliced in or minced in, 70 grams of cooked chana, alrighty, 1 tablespoon of besan, and then I'm going to be using half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of cumin powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, righto, definitely some salt to taste, some cracked black pepper, a nice big pinch of baking powder, and once this is ready, what I'm going to do, I'm actually transferring this into another bowl. Let's go with the pickling. I'm going to be using about 100 grams or so of sugar, 100 ml of white wine vinegar, white wine vinegar 1 cup. Then moving to the spices, about 2 bay leaves in here, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds यानी के धनिया, 2 jalapenos because they are spicy and they are sour, so they're just going to enhance our pickle. Okay, this goes in. Plus what I'm doing is I'm going to put the juice, about almost half a cup of juice from the jalapenos in this. So let's give it a nice shake. I think I forgot something. A nice big tablespoon of salt as well into this. Now what I'm going to do is just bring it to the boil, because remember, whenever you're cooking with vinegar, you need to actually cook the vinegar off, which means if you stand here, if I stand here, I'm going to cough because all these vinegar fumes are going into me. So I'm actually just letting them evaporate away. And then what I'm going to do now is literally chuck in my vegetables for the pickle. Oh, very nice. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm literally going, the longer you leave this, the better it is. So let this stand by on the side. What's left is that funky yogurt which I was talking about to you. So let's hit the yogurt at the moment. I have got my yogurt here, some plums which I will dice. A couple of plums should be alright. Some pomegranate seeds, salt, थोड़ा सा इलायची powder, a tablespoon of rose water in this, a nice orange juice in this, and then I've got some nice green apple. Now just give it a nice mix. Let's have a look. Wow, look at that. More than double in size, I must say. Now what we're going to do is bring it together. Dust some flour into it. Okay, because it's fairly sticky. Bring it together. Let's cut this in half. Wowee! Let's give it a little turn. Nice. Extra virgin olive oil on this bread too. Za'atar spice. This bread is beautifully ready. Super. Nicely done. Oh yes. Oof. Hot, but worth it. It's worth getting burnt. Okay, so my flatbreads are ready. Now it's the time to do the falafel. Falafel mix is also ready to drop now. Slowly drop them into oil. Give it a little shake. Yes, nice. Don't disturb them too much. I don't want them to break. Almost like little rugby balls, aren't they? In culinary terms, we call them quenelle. Alright. It's time to plate up. Or it's time to platter up. In this case, a funky plum, pomegranate and green apple yogurt, our house-made pickles, Beet and Arbi Falafal with house-made pickles and a pomegranate, plum and green apple yogurt.